Say the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey yo, let's get it poppin'.
All right, welcome everybody to Straight from the Hip. Hey man, Coach, I'm loving that theme song, man. It gets me in the mood for the show every week now, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's
good.
It's good. So welcome to Straight from the Hip. I guess today is Memorial Day, and I'm gonna let Coach talk a little bit about that because he is someone who lived in the service family and et cetera. But thank you guys for joining us today because, again, you could have been with anybody in the world, but you decided to spend a little time with us today. So we really do appreciate it. Coach, I just wanted you to kind of give a little bit about, I know what Memorial Day means to you and your family and how that all goes, all right?
Yeah, Memorial Day means a lot to me. I'm a military brat. You know, my dad was in the service. I got 5 brothers and sisters, so we all grew up in military families. You know, your dad gets sent on TDY, or, you know, which is a temporary assignment somewhere, and now mom's at home, you know, alone with the kids while dad is out serving the country. And literally, you know, when that happens, you don't know if your dad's gonna come back or not, because I mean that's just the you know the way the job goes. So it's a little bit, you know, humbling to think about all of those guys who are out there living their lives that way, putting their lives on the line for the country, and people who've lost their lives. And that's what this day is all about. So a very touching day for me because I've been around a lot of guys and a lot of young guys who lost their lives in the military. So that's what this day is all about. So, you know, I hate sometimes we look at holidays as being barbecues and, you know, this and that kind of thing, as opposed to what the days are really meant for. And I just hope that, you know, everybody at least spend a little time of reflection today about people who've lost their lives actually protecting us so that we can sit here and have fun like we do on this show and some other things. There are people out there putting their lives on the line for us to have the right and the privilege to do that.
Absolutely. Well, you know, thank you for that, Coach. And anybody who has family or has served everything, you know, thank you for that.
Hi, and welcome to Playbook Athlete, the nation's fastest growing network for athlete exposure. Whether it's our nationally syndicated internet radio show, our recently launched TV platform, or our aggressive reach on social media, which registers over 1 million impressions every 30 days, our goal is to provide the ultimate level of exposure. With Twitter emerging as one of the primary methods of communication with student athletes, college coaches have been evaluating talent and offering prospects simply by sending a tweet. Join the network today. Build your brand now. A small investment today for a big return tomorrow. Exposure, opportunity, the playbook. Follow us on Twitter at Playbook Athlete. #WhyIGrind.
Perfect. Let's go and jump into it here. Let's talk about the GHSA, and I guess they're ready to play. And this is right up your alley. So, Coach, give us a little bit about what's going on and some updates here.
I'm just going to let you know the GHSA met, I think, last Tuesday, came up with a big announcement that June 8th was going to be the first day that coaches could contact their players again. Now, the only stipulations that I saw that they had on that was if you're meeting indoors, there can only be a total of 20 people that meet. So therefore, if it's 10 coaches, you can't have but 10 players. So, you know, you got to be smart about how you're going to do the whole player-coach ratio thing. And then if you're outdoors, I think it said you could have 50 players. So it'll be interesting to see because most of the good teams, and understand that in Gwinnett County where we live, most of the schools are 7A. So you're looking at football teams of over 100 kids. So I don't know what you're going to do with 50 kids, you know, and then have the other 50 come. Or if you're in the weight room and you have 20 kids at a time, that's going to take you 5 hours to work out everybody. So it's going to be very interesting to see what guys are going to do here. Now, I don't know about if we have to wear masks while we're in there. I don't know anything about any other stipulations, but it will be June 8th. And what I've noticed, and after this, I'll pass the mic, but what I've noticed is that there's a split amongst parents about who's comfortable with June 8th and who's not. And I almost see it being almost on racial borderlines as far as who's comfortable and who's not. It seems like my European American parents and friends are more comfortable than my African American friends. So, well, you know how I'm about that. I don't, if we're gonna say black and white, let's say black and white. If we're gonna say African American, then we need to say European American. So that's where I am on all that. So y'all tell me.
Well, let me first, the GHSA, for people who may not know, is just the Georgia High School Association, if that's correct, Coach.
That is correct.
Just for people who aren't in Georgia listening, I will tell you this. Let's jump to Travis first, since he's a European American.
I would want to make sure that, you know, precautions are met as best as possible, and then just kind of gauge the situation. Right now, of course, like you said, I do not have any children. I would probably be okay with my child, you know, doing that in a 10 or 20 person group.
But I want to clarify for everybody what Travis just said. He doesn't have any kids.
No,
so he's okay with y'all's kids being out there.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You said, I don't have any kids. And then you said, but I'll be okay with my kids being out there. You said you don't have no kids. So you okay with everybody else's kids being out there. You okay with everybody else's kids going out there into Corona land and doing whatever, but you don't want, I got it, Travis, go ahead.
If I had a child, if I had a kid that was in that situation, I would be okay with them going out and participating. If the right precautions, they have to wear the mask, gloves, I would be okay with it.
And I'm gonna go ahead and make a comment. After that, we'll open it up to everybody to kind of see what you think or feel on it. I'll be completely honest with you, and I'm only speaking from the aspect of being in Georgia. I don't trust all of the shenanigans that went on with the Georgia government. Like, I mean, what was it, a month ago? He didn't know that asymptomatic people could catch it. We just found out he just lied about the numbers going down because of a typing error. Like, how you put April and May? My 5-year-old daughter knows the months of the year. How the hell grown-ass adults? So that will concern me more than anything of the equipment and who they're around and et cetera. That will concern me because I don't know what's real and what's fake on there. So, I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my kids doing it. If my kids were to do it, I would prefer it would have been like something outside. If you like, if you had them out on the field running routes or doing drills where they can really separate and actually, like not be behind someone directly and something more along the lines, because, I mean, I've been to weight rooms, and Coach, you ran a weight room. Those are some of the nastier places depending on who's running them.
No doubt.
And, I mean, so I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. So we'll open it up. But, Coach, go ahead with your last thoughts, and we'll open it up.
Real quick, just also want to say, with my job, I am out every single day still. So I am wearing the mask and the PPE. So I have all that stuff with my job. I'm out every single day doing that. So, I'm already doing it. So I don't feel like I'm, doing something or asking somebody else to do something that I haven't been doing since. And
I think a lot of what is being done by the government, believe it or not, is basically reacting to what they're seeing in society. I sent you guys the thing about Floyd Mayweather. He posted on social media, he's at a doggone nightclub in Arizona. And I mean, you'd have thought that Corona never existed by what they were doing. I mean, they got a regular nightclub thing going on in there. The club is packed. I mean, everybody standing there like this. I mean? You can't even move. It was so tight in there. So I don't get it. And I mean, there's a lot of people who have not changed, have not done. They showed some pool scene the other day from some people having a cookout or having a whatever you want to call it. And like I said, had pools surrounding everybody out there as if this never happened. Some people are acting like it's done, it's over with, whatever. But
absolutely. Let's open it up. Mr. and Mrs. Peavy, and I don't want to get you in trouble, OJ, so probably let Miss Peavy and Peavy answer first. How do you guys feel about Justin going back out there to go and if he go out to train again?
I'm on the borderline. He needs to get out and do some training, which he's been doing in small groups already. He's already been out, but been outdoors, but then he's also been, I'm not going to get coach in trouble. So he's also been
you didn't get me in trouble. I'm good. Tell it, Miss Peavy, tell it.
So he's been also working out with Coach Boo in the indoor facility occasionally. So I don't know. I'm just on the fence a little bit. But my thing is, if gyms are open, gyms are already open as well, and people are going to the gyms working out. So I'm okay with the smaller groups.
Yep. I could chime in a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
And particularly with the question about what would you do with your kids. Just to let y'all know, I'm out here on the West Coast. My daughter is in Indianapolis, where she stays and works. She's 27. She caught COVID. She wasn't doing anything other than what was recommended, going grocery stores, things that you have to do, essential things that you have to do. So she probably caught it doing that. I asked her, where do you think you got that from? She said, probably just routine grocery store stuff. She was down for 7 days. 5 of those 7 days, she started showing signs of recovery, honestly, because I watched her every day. She got the test, did the things that she had to do, quarantine, people brought her food, no problem. By day 6 or 7, she was back to almost full strength. But she's different than her brother. Her brother has asthmatic conditions, okay? Some allergy conditions. If it were my son going back to football right now, or going back into a facility or getting back into a group setting, I would not be as comfortable with him because of his underlying conditions. I think we have to be able to take that into control, under consideration, and be able to understand what that means for different types of folks, black, white, otherwise, okay? Because it's affecting folks that way. So we have to look at that. And one of the things I'm concerned with, 2 things when it comes to returning back to any level of athletic activity, football included, whatever, is okay, how are we testing kids for their physical capabilities? What do we know whether or not they have underlying conditions? Do we know that they have asthmatic conditions, potential, diabetes, things of that nature that could really cause great complications if you were to contract COVID? And then what then are the treatment processes and procedures? And these tests aren't cheap either. Are they going to be tested? The test costs, I understand, it's anywhere from $60 to $100. I mean, the tests are expensive.
Right.
Okay. And so if you're going to test for this, are you prepared to test? Are you prepared to treat? Those are the 2 questions I want to ask, because we all know what the distancing has done. We all know what stay at home means. We can't all stay at home all the time. We have things that we have to do if it's nothing but routine grocery store shopping where we could contract it anyhow. So what are the testing processes and what are the treatment processes in place? Are we prepared to do that? That's my question.
Well, Jimbo Fisher was on TV today. He's the head coach at Texas A&M. And he said that the only testing that he mentioned, as far as an everyday test, is every day when they come in, they're going to swipe them to see if they got a fever. Absolutely. And what I think is kind of weird is, they're making this big thing. The SEC said that they're going to open up and what does that mean? Who cares what the SEC says? Who you going to play? Because, the Pac-12, you're not going to play anybody in the Pac-12.
No, because we aren't playing out here.
And let me spin off, and I think my wife had a good point about what's the liability of the school if players contract it because of the activity they're doing. Are they going to be tested? Is it going to be a day-to-day thing? If one contracts, do you shut down the whole program or do you quarantine just one? I think it's a lot of question marks. And like I said, for me, I don't feel comfortable with our administration in Georgia to know that they're going to do the right thing because they haven't seemed to be able to get it right so far with all the information around.
Well, it's very important to have a goal. You got to have short-term goals and long-term goals. It says in the Bible to make the vision plain, write it down. And I tell these athletes to write it down. I still write down my goals to the date. And I go back and look at them 5 or 6 years later like, oh, wow, I accomplished it because I wrote it down, You got to always write goals down so now you know where you're going. It makes you more accountable. So, because sometimes the biggest enemy is not your antagonist or your football coach or somebody that want to see you make it. A lot of times it's yourself. If you can get out of the way of yourself, you can accomplish so much more. If you can look that man in the mirror and make affirmations to yourself and say, hey, I'm great, I'm special, I'm a D1 football player, I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm a great businessman. Whatever that is, you talking to yourself, because that's the key. But when it comes down to it, the only thing that matters is what you do. Can't nobody stop.
Let's jump to another enemy that everybody can agree with. Let's say I agree with. Lance Armstrong is coming out with his, 30 for 30. ESPN is going to finally drop that. Beloved guy to probably one of the most vilified people in America. I'm going to go ahead and Travis start because cycling I feel like is more of a European thing. What you got on that, Travis?
I don't have much. It was what it was. It wasn't anything nearly what the MJ one was. Again, it wasn't as long. I think that this was part one. I thought he came across kind of, I don't want to use, bad
He's an asshole.
Yeah, there you go. He came off as an ass. So, has been, of course, denying for years and years and years and years about all the steroids and all the drugs that he's taken. And then he comes out and says, yeah, I was taking them at, I think he said 17, 18, 19 years old. So, it just everything that he's ever said before this is just kind of flushed down the toilet and he kind of just looks like an ass on this.
What you got on this, Coach?
Here's my thing. Don't y'all ever talk about Michael Jordan being an asshole ever again. if you saw Lance Armstrong, I almost couldn't watch it. He's so bad. And that's my whole thing is that who in the hell is in charge of programming for ESPN? How you go from Michael Jordan to Lance Armstrong? Why you didn't get Bruce Lee next? Why did they not put Bruce Lee after Michael Jordan? I don't get that. We had to watch this bullshit last night and gonna have to watch it again next week, and it's terrible. And then you got to wait a whole nother week to see Bruce Lee. I don't get that.
I think, Coach, they're trying to get the levels of asshole to come down more and more. So you started with Michael, the king asshole, then you go with Lance, the king cheating asshole.
There ain't no way you gonna tell me that Michael's a bigger asshole than Lance Armstrong. He admits he won. He admits he's one. He is an admitted asshole. I'll tell you that right now. That was terrible last night. And it's that kind of thing where you want to reach through the TV and just strangle him. He's terrible.
Yeah. Anybody, Irv, what you got on that, Irvin? What's your thoughts on Lance?
Hey, listen, man. I got to agree with Coach on that one, man. I have no clue how they decided to line up these shows right now.
Is that not crazy?
It's stupid.
That's ridiculous.
They don't have any programming. They're out of options. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna show?
I know, but you don't flip a coin and just say, "Hey, let's put Lance after Michael." What the hell is that?
Let's jump to the story this is the only story I really wanted to talk about today. And I know, Joe, you commented on it, and I know I can't wait for you to talk about it, Irvin. Who in the hell let Lamar Jackson put that video out? If anybody saw it on Instagram, Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown are running routes, and they put a video out with Lamar throwing against air to Hollywood Brown, and the passes is behind them. They're not there on time. It was might have been. I thought Coach was throwing the ball underhanded to Hollywood Brown. That's what I thought was going on. It was so bad. Who in the hell let them put that out?
And then he catches the ball. Hollywood Brown catches the ball, runs like 3 yards, and then just stops and just starts walking again. Not even finishes the route. Nothing like that.
Coach, talk to that. How does a tape like that get out? Did Lamar think he was doing well?
Well, first of all, let's all be happy that Lamar Jackson has a new agent today. Because if you were his agent and you allowed that to happen, your ass should be fired by today. if you're his agent and you didn't allow that to happen, your ass should have quit today. So either way, Lamar Jackson should have a new agent today, because that was ridiculous. And this is my whole thing about it. I was even okay with it to some point, but then when I see the receiver, you say Hollywood Brown, got a helmet on there and a DB running beside him, no helmet on, look like he's on break from the bowling alley. I'm like, what is that? And that's supposed to be the guy covering you? I mean, dude, that was so bad and so ghetto. I would be ashamed to put something out like that. I mean, here you are, a professional. You couldn't even go hire an actor. I mean, give him $100 to come out there for 20 minutes. Say, look, guys, I want you to run 2 routes. Just run right by the receiver. Wear this helmet. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Also, let's realize that they're doing this. They're getting together when everyone's supposed to be socially interactive or socially distant. So they're flagrantly breaking the rules to go throw some terrible pass that's behind him that was 5 yards, and it was just awful. But, you know, step one is they're getting together, which they're not even supposed to be.
But now, Irv, you in D.C., come on, man. You got to talk to your man Lamar, man. You got to ride down to the B-More, let him know. Like, you can't put that out, man.
Hey, look, right now he in Florida, so nothing I can do about that right now.
No, you still got to claim him. That's yours. You still got to claim him.
I'll take that 30-minute trip up the Beltway, of the Parkway.
What you got on Ocho Cinco? Excuse me, is he Chad Johnson now or Ocho? I know Travis is our insider bingo. So is he going by Ocho or Chad Johnson now?
Yeah, he
Travis?
actually did something pretty good. I don't know if y'all heard. He went into a diner. The meal cost $37. He left a $1,000 tip. And he left a sign that said, you know, hey, I know coronavirus is hurting everybody. I hope this helps. So, you know, and this is the thing about it. Even when you hear he did something good like that, again, one of the world's top 5 assholes.
Don't talk about my guy.
You can't even feel good about it. You can't. You wonder if you should feel good about it, because you know good and well he is on the top of the asshole list.
Okay, what asshole things has he done?
Everything. I mean, first of all, he married one of them real Atlanta housewives or whatever. I know you ain't gonna let that Cincinnati Bengals fan you come out and defend Chad Johnson on not being an asshole.
He proposed to a cheerleader at a football game too, so you know that's kind of cool.
He is an idiot.
I think July the NBA is trying to come back. Are you going to watch? Because you don't watch no more basketball. You hate it now. Are you going to watch it now?
I'm be honest with you. I'll watch it when it first comes back because I'm interested to see what'll happen. And I'm so want to see. And I'm a LeBron hater, but I so want to see. I admit it. At least I admit mine. I so want to see what happens this year because LeBron was thirsty to finish this season because I think he knows he don't have too many more shots at a title.
Go ahead, Mr. Hill.
I got news for you. You're not the only LeBron hater. I just want to know why. What's your rationale for that? Because I have
it all starts when they start this GOAT. The whole GOAT conversation.
Yeah,
versus with him and Jordan. Yeah. And I can't stand it. When people even say anything about him, being mentioning him with Jordan for the GOAT, I lose it. I lose it. Fair so that's where it all stems from.
You're in complete agreement that he's not.
Don't get him started, Mr. Hill. He about to get PTSD again and go off. What do y'all think? Do you guys think the Lakers actually do have a chance to win the championship? I know, Irvin, you're my basketball guy go-to. Do you think that's a real thing that they can win it, or you think it's just it was regular season and it got hot?
Everybody got a chance. But
I'm with you, Irvin. Amen.
But as soon as you step on that court, this depends on what you got. You know, I
tell you what. They better turn those mics off if they don't have any crowd noise. I tell you that much. Because them jokers cuss every play. You hear the F word every trip down the court multiple times.
You ain't never lied.
Some of them jokers' names would start with the F word.
You ain't never lied. Hey, I went back to look at some of my tapes, and my mother didn't realize how much I cussed when I played. They got a lot of dogs on the Clippers, though, defensive dogs.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing I do like about the Clippers.
Well,
OJ,
the thing I like about the Clippers, I like Patrick Beverly. Again, a certified asshole.
OJ, what you got on the NBA season, OJ?
I don't even keep up with the NBA. I don't even watch it that much, man.
Because you're an old black man just like me. That's why. Old black men don't watch the NBA anymore.
Joe Madden, what do you got? What do you think? Are you going to watch the NBA season? Who are you rooting for? Who you think is going to take the chip?
I'm watching for sure. You know what? I think it will be the Lakers, but I really want it to be Toronto. I'm from Canada, so the Raptors took it. That would be a good one to see again.
With you being a Canadian, how do you feel about Kawhi? I mean, he gave you a chip, but he dipped right after it. Do you have any animosity, or are you just happy you got a chip?
Just happy we got it, right? I don't even know the last time Canada would have taken it. I don't think ever. I think it was the first time, wasn't it?
Yeah. See, Canadians are so nice. See, Americans would have been hot. They'd have been like, oh, I can't believe you did this. We got you a chip, and you just Canadians like, hey, we just happy we got one. Thank
Joe,
God.
Happy.
It was the first time and the last time. So
I hate to say it, but it's going to be the last time too.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, why are you going to be so mean?
See, that's the Americanism. You see that? That's the Americanism. Like, oh, it ain't going to happen again.
It's the truth.
I'm just trying to keep it real. It ain't never going to happen again. I can tell you that right now. And it sure as hell ain't going to happen this year.
Well, you're going to have to eat your shoe if it does.
I'll eat it. I'll put some butter on it and everything. Because there ain't no way in the hell. Y'all didn't get these.
I'll send you some maple syrup. Make it a little sweeter.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, that Greek freak, that's who's coming out of the East. We already know who's coming out of the East. Yeah, the West, we got a little bit of things to think about. You know, got Houston in there. You know, got the Clippers, got the Lakers. It might be a little interesting for the West for a minute. But the East, anybody in the East but Milwaukee. That's it.
Don't even start talking about the no defense Houston Rockets over here.
Oh, yeah, come on, man.
Come on.
Coach, we're down to like the last 2 minutes. Go ahead and get your jackass of the week out the way, and then we'll close on up.
Oh, we already talked about jackass. So everybody knows Lamar Jackson. I mean, why would an idiot
I thought it was his agent. I thought his agent was the jackass.
And I have no idea why he do something that stupid. But before I get off, I got to drop some heavyweight on you guys. You guys know I'm a high school football coach. We won the state championship back in 2017, a couple years ago here, 3 years ago. And one of the unsung heroes on that team was an undersized defensive lineman named Chris Miles. Chris Miles, I'm sad to say, passed away today from brain cancer. And so it's been kind of a heavy-hearted day for me and all of our coaching staff. I got the news this morning while I was working on my break. I pull out my phone, and there's a message saying Chris Miles passed away this morning. And I mean, my heart just kind of went down in my shoes. Now, he was a defensive tackle, but I used to go up to him sometimes after the game and say, dude, you have no idea how you doing your job is benefiting this team the way that it is. So I would ask all of you, there's only 25 seconds left here, ask all of you to say a prayer for him and his family. I can't fathom what it would be like losing a child at the age of 19, 20, maybe however old he was just getting ready to start college, and now he's gone. So with that, let me say good night, Miss Francis.
Straight from the hip. Thank you guys for watching as always. We'll see you next week.
Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we're done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey, yo, let's get it poppin'.